Tanya. Hey, Ashley. So I'm healing myself at the moment. I am running a healing learning program, Learning Systemic, which is bioenergetic activation of the central nervous system. It has asked me to run this the last 2 days in a row. It's been my number one priority the last 2 days in a row. So I am currently recalibrating my central nervous system as we speak. While we're doing this live stream, we will multitask. I'm healing my body and here to talk to you about the things. Talk about things. Yay, human design session in a minute. That sounds amazing and epic. Oh, that reminds me, there's somebody that I want to book a human design session with. I was on this amazing podcast the other day called De Luna. I guested on this podcast. And I want to book a session with those ladies because they were really epic. And I was just sitting here researching this alternative YouTube platform, which apparently is quite censored, so I'm not going to say the name of it. It just got banned by Facebook. I can't share any links from it on Facebook. So of course that piqued my interest and I was like, maybe I should take my YouTube channel over to this new platform. I'm all about the free speech. We will not be silenced. Hey, Amy. So, how's everyone going? I'm doing good. I'm just living my best life here in Bali, healing the shit out of myself. I'm trying to take it easy and only do the recommended number of programs per day, which is quite difficult because I really just want to run my Healy all the live long day because it makes me feel so amazing. Can we spell the platform that I'm talking about? I don't know. Send me a message in Telegram and I'll tell you what it is. Listen, I just got out of Facebook jail again. So I don't even know why. I literally just at this point, I'm like, I am just offensive to Facebook world, apparently. I don't even know what I did. I'm constantly getting put in jail and it's not fully in jail. It's half jail. So it's not even it's I can't like shit or I can't post. This most recent one was I couldn't post in groups that I wasn't an admin of. And I'm like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of because I never post in groups that I'm not the admin of anyway. But then when I was trying to like something in a group, it was you have abused this power and you're no longer able to like things in other people's groups. And I'm just like, what are you even talking about? Oh, it's so crazy. The resistance to the truth is real. I rode quads all day and then I ran my Healy and now I feel amazing. I had a fair amount of wine last night and I came home and ran pure. I fell asleep. I went to sleep with my Healy on and I ran pure and I feel completely fine this morning, which was great because I did have quite a lot of wine with Ms. Taryn Lee and Ms. Sarah last night while over seeing a beautiful sunset in Bali. Which leads me into the topic of this live stream. It's so perfect that I just tell you about my wine drinking and now we literally just now move into the conversation about how I won't play the pendulum swing. So we're having this great conversation last night. We had this amazing conversation last night. So Taryn and Sarah wanted to know more about what I do. And my my wealth coaching stuff. And so we had this amazing epic conversation about how, money is energy and vibration and frequency. And obviously it's so aligned with Healy, with the vibration frequency, all of that stuff. And, but we started talking about, this concept that you guys know I love to talk about, which is, how full of shit the spiritual community is most of the time. But we were talking about the pendulum swing that people go through, right? And it's you start to have your spiritual awakening, reawakening, and you're clear over here, right? You're not in the spiritual world. You're not in the spiritual space. you're, you either like highly materialistic or completely caught up in lack and scarcity mentality, and you're definitely like fully entrenched in financial slavery consciousness, whether you have money or not. You're like over here on this side of the pendulum, right? Like, and it's stuck. It's like literally stuck over here, right? And then you start to have your spiritual reawakening, and it's like nobody just comes to center. Everybody has to do like the full fucking pendulum swing and end up over here. I like pop my Healy electrode off. I was so excited about it. So like we can't just do the like, oh, okay, now we're gonna come and like, do what we're actually meant to do in life, which is like swing here in the bottom, right? No, we have to go we go all the way to the other side. And it's just like, now we're over here wearing patchouli, hugging trees, like, like becoming a vegan and, not drinking. Like we are like the most spiritual of the spiritual people. And we're like, we get up on our cross and we're like, only gonna do all of the very most spiritual things that there are, and we stop showering and we stop shaving, and and it's just like, obviously I'm being a bit extreme here, but that's what happens, right? Like we literally pendulum swing to this other side where, yes, let's be clear, this is a patchouli free zone. Please do not come anywhere near me, like literally within 20 feet of me wearing patchouli. I cannot handle it. Patchouli free zone. But literally like we go, and I am this person, right? Like I never wore patchouli, that never happened, and I never stopped showering. And I mean, I didn't go as extreme as some people, but I did become a vegan for 4 years, and there's nothing wrong with being a vegan, right? I want to just there's nothing wrong with any of these things that I'm saying over here, right? This isn't like down with the spiritual people live stream, but what it is that as human beings, we aren't intended to be on one side of the pendulum or the other. We're meant to be in the divine middle, which is here, right? We're meant to be in this very gentle balance that is the middle of the pendulum. But we go from this place of almost of ignorance to this place of self-righteousness. And, in order to be spiritual, like, it's like, look at me, we go full into our martyrdom complexes. We go fully into our, how spiritual we are. Look how much we're struggling. Look how much trauma we've experienced. Look how much trauma we've endured. Look at me. Look how spiritual I am. I'm miserable. I'm struggling. I'm like constantly in a process. I'm working through all my shit. Like there's very much this side of the pendulum, and it's not healthy. But it is something that the majority of us go through, right? So we go from ignorance to, martyrdom and self-righteousness, spiritual self-righteousness. And my friend Alpha Mama has this saying that I love so much, which is like, don't take yourself so spiritually. I always think of it when I think about these people who are just like, crusading their spirituality and judging everyone else in the process who's not doing all the things that they believe so self-righteously are the right things to do. And it's just crazy. Like, I just think it's crazy. I am all about self-mastery, and I am all about discovery of self and self-awareness through self-mastery. And I believe that like this is part of the thing. Like we have to go from here all the way over to here and get stuck in this for a minute in order to sort of finally come back down to here. So I'm not like saying that this is wrong by any stretch of the imagination, but it just is kind of fucked up because it's like neither of these positions are healthy. They're just not. And it's like my friend Michelle Patrick and I are always talking about. It's like, people get over here in their self-righteousness, and then they're like, I'm going to drink a green juice and eat a smoothie bowl every day and be like the most healthy of all the healthiest people in the world. And I'm going to judge the shit out of you for eating your bacon in the morning with your eggs or whatever. And it's just like, here's the thing. Green juice and smoothie bowls are not healthy for everyone. Not everyone is meant to be a vegan. Not everyone is meant to eat meat. Not like you have to figure out what works for your body, what works for your constitution. And it's a journey. It's a journey of self-discovery. It's a journey of self-mastery. It's a journey of self-awareness. And it's beautiful. Like, it is a beautiful journey. So one of the things that we were talking about last night was this pendulum swing, right? And we've got some friends that are going through it right now. And it's like awesome to witness it, because like once you've done it, like you can recognize when people are in that part of their journey. And like, it is definitely a step that you need to go through. But at the same time, like those that end up stuck over here and end up like really ingrained and entrenched in this like spirituality equals struggle, purpose equals poverty. Like they've literally just traded one form of ignorance and lack and scarcity for another. And I think that's really sad, because, and the thing that this live stream is about that I think is really sad and really fucked up is the majority of coaches out there, they play the pendulum swing. So they're either trying to take people from here to here, or they're taking advantage of the people that are here, right? And trying to, you know, sell them on how to become more this thing, how to become more spiritual. But what they don't realize is that literally in neither of these places can we fully realize our ultimate potential as human beings on this planet. And what is meant for us is that journey of self-mastery. What is meant for us is divine awareness of who we are as a being. And so for me, it's like I talk about this idea of divine balance. It's like, you know, people often will be like, you're so extreme, like you're fasting or you're eating whatever you want, right? Or you're, you know, having 5 margaritas. I never have 5 margaritas, but 3 margaritas. Let's call it 3 margaritas. Having 3 margaritas, or you're not drinking, right? And so people are like, you exist in this pendulum swing. And I'm like, actually, no, it is through the accessing of the extremes that I find balance. And we were having this conversation last night, and it just was, it's fascinating to me how many people believe that it has to be either or, that there is no and. So money and spirituality is one of these things, right? It's like, you can't make money doing your purpose work. Like if you're truly invested in your purpose work, this is that old adage of like healers shouldn't be paid for their services. Like if you're a true healer, you're not making money from it, right? If you're truly healing the world, you're not materialistic and you're not getting paid for it. And so this is programming, this is conditioning, this is bullshit, right? Like literally what it is bullshit. And there's this, you know, but it absolutely is something that is conditioned and ingrained into us. So anytime we begin to step into our purpose, we're literally having to battle through all this programming and conditioning that we can't be successful, doing our divine mission work, doing that work that we were sent here to the world to do. Well, why is that programmed and conditioned? It's programmed and conditioned because the global financial elite do not want the spiritual people fully in their power. Because if the spiritual people were fully in their power, then the global financial agenda would not be able to be successful, right? Because people would recognize and realize the power that they have innately to be wildly financially abundant and successful. The powers that be do not want that. They don't want that because that means that they lose control. So instead, we are programmed and conditioned to believe that the only way to be wildly financially abundant and successful is to play their game the way that they want you to play it, which means you go to university, you get student loans so that you can go to university, you then pay interest and payments on those student loans for 1 trillion years. You go to school, you do something respectable, where you can go earn a lot of money, where you can pay a lot of taxes. You know, we are programmed and conditioned into being slaves. Like literally, it is financial slavery consciousness that is programmed into us each moment of every day from the time we take our first breath on this planet. We are conditioned to be the thing that our parents believe make us a good person in the world, right? And that certainly usually is not, unless you have really alternative parents who were hippies, you know, and like completely bucked the system. That is not, we're not conditioned to believe that we can be wildly financially successful and abundant doing our purpose work, which is actually what we're meant to do. It is our divine birthright. It's why we're here on this planet. And it really truly only is in doing our divine mission work and our purpose work that we can fully realize the abundance that we're meant to have. It is not through any of those other things, because all of those other things, it's just smoke and mirrors. It's just programming and conditioning that's created to manipulate you really into doing what best serves the global financial elite and the global financial agenda. So, we were talking last night, and like this idea of like, oh my gosh, like all we've done for generations is we were born, and then our parents are conditioning us to be the people that they believe are, like, we are being conditioned to be what they have been conditioned to believe is a good person, right? Whatever that means for your family. It's different for everybody, but it's like, your parents are doing their best to raise you as a good person, whatever they believe a good person is, right? And all we've done for generations upon generations upon generations is rebel what our parents tried to make us be. So all we've done is, here's another total pendulum swing, right? All we've done is go from like, okay, here's my parents, here are their beliefs. I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that. I'm going to do this. And so literally, like, then they just create kids that become their grandparents. So literally, it's like, we're just skipping a generation every time. We're skipping a generation. I believe for the first time in a long time, we've got a collective consciousness of people that aren't actually all doing that, because we've started to become spiritually aware. More of us have started to wake up. More of us have decided to deconstruct the programming and conditioning that has been passed down through our ancestral lines. Like, more of us realize that, like, we can actually stop the patterning. We can stop the patterning with us. We can stop the conditioning with us. And we're doing the work to do that. And so now, for the first time, I think, like, wow, we're actually now going to be raising a whole new generation of kids that don't have to rebel against their parents and become their grandparents. And so as a result of that, I think, like, the collective consciousness actually raises. We actually get to begin the ascension process, because we're not stuck in, having to rebel against our parents who were basically rebelling against their parents who were rebelling against their parents. And we're literally just continuing these family patterns generation after generation after generation after generation. Like, nothing's changing. It may appear to change from parent to child, but then all that's happening is it's going back to what it was before. And so we've created these links that are tremendously debilitating. And they are links that are full of scarcity and lack mentality and programming and conditioning and dogma and guilt and shame and all the things that the powers that be use to manipulate us into doing exactly what they want us to do, which is being good, law-abiding citizens that support them financially, right? So, yeah, I'm one of those I'm not one of those coaches that's going to play the pendulum swing. And there are so many people out there that are doing that. So if that's what you want, there are a million people that you can go find that are going to help you with that. I am not that person. I am not going to take advantage of you in this side of the pendulum or in this side of the pendulum. Like, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in creating carbon copies of me. I'm not interested in taking advantage of people's desire to have a life that's better than what they currently have. Because I really truly believe that you have all the answers inside of you. You don't even actually need me, right? You have all the answers inside of you. But what I can do is help you get to that destination faster. What I can do is help you see and shine a light into the areas that you're not able to see yet. And so for me, it's like why I work with the people I work with. At any given time, I'm working with 4 or 5 different coaches that are helping me in 4 or 5 different areas. The reason that I do that is because I am constantly on this journey of self-mastery. I want to better myself. I want to expand myself, my ability to know myself better, my ability to connect more with other human beings, my ability to, you know, step more fully into the divine mission work that I'm here to do on this planet. And as a result of that, become more and more wildly financially abundant in doing that. And ultimately, it's all energy. It is all about energy. It is all about vibration. It is all about frequency, which is why Healy is so timely right now. Because that is what the world is. It's energy, vibration, and frequency. And now we've actually been given this little device that puts the power of that knowing and knowledge in our hands, like literally in our hands, and allows us to begin to step more fully into that journey of self-mastery. And I think that's beautiful. What I really want for the people that come and work with me is I want them to have full realization that it is in this divine balance that they find the self-mastery. It is in this divine balance where they find their purpose. It is in this divine balance that they are able to be finally wildly financially successful, doing their purpose work in the world, making a difference, creating impact, and helping raise the collective consciousness. It isn't over here in this spirituality, self-righteous extreme, and it isn't over here in ignorance, right? And so when we talk about these things, like when we talk about money versus spirituality, like, you know, you've got this is probably the left actually, and this is the right, right? But you've got this whole school of people, and they're like, you can't be materialistic and be spiritual at the same time. Said who? Who fucking said that? The spirituality police? Like, spirituality and materialism are not even on the same fucking pole. Like, when you have polarity between two things, you have two extremes. Materialism and spirituality, they're not on the same pole. They're not. Like, money and spirituality are not on the same pole. They can exist together. And they're meant to exist together. And the reason that they're meant to exist together is because it is impossible to reach the amount of people that you are meant to reach with your divine mission work if you're fucking broke and trying to figure out how to pay your car payment, how to pay your house payment, and how to put food on the table. That is not what you are here for. It is not what you are meant for. It is not like part of your divine blueprint. It's just not. You bought into the programming and conditioning that it is, but it's not. Like, you are here to be wildly financially abundant and supported and prosperous in all areas of your life, doing the divine mission work that you came to this planet to do. Period. End paragraph. Right? When we get caught up in these poles, in thinking that it has to be either or, and it can't be this and it can't be that, I can't be spiritual and eat bacon, I can't be spiritual and be ridiculously financially abundant, I can't be spiritual and drink alcohol, like that shit, none of it is on the same pole. There is no polarity between spirituality and alcohol. There is no polarity. Now, some people may choose not to drink alcohol because of how it affects their body. They may feel like they are foggy. They may feel like it may not be the right thing for their body, for their constitution. And by all means, if those people feel like if that is the case, then they shouldn't drink. But everybody isn't like that. It is not a universal law that you can't drink alcohol and be spiritual, that you can't drink alcohol and be a healer. So if people are out there telling you this garbage, like, that person doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because here's the thing, each human being is completely unique. None of us are the same, right? None of our constitutions are the same. What works for your neighbor does not work for you. And this is why that journey of self-mastery is so important, of getting to know your physical vessel, getting to know your divine soul, and what the combination of that physical vessel and that divine soul means for the actions and ways of life and food and drink. And that unique combination determines everything. And if you're just doing what your coach says, or you're just doing what your neighbor says, or you're just doing what your yoga teacher says, you've missed the boat. Because this isn't about becoming a copy of someone else. It's about about knowing yourself, about self-mastery of your vessel, so about that beautiful divine union between your physical vessel and your divine immortal soul. Like, that is the journey. That is the thing. And these extremes of you can't do this and have this and you can't be spiritual, you're already spiritual. You are a fucking divine immortal soul, period. Like, it doesn't matter. Even if your divine mortal soul is asleep inside your physical vessel, you're still a spiritual being. You're still a divine immortal soul. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what substances or food or anything that you put in your body. It doesn't matter. You are a spiritual being. You are divine in nature, period. And if anybody tells you that that's not the case, run for the hills, because it's not true. So, I don't know. I felt like I needed to get on and rant about this. I think I've said about all I need to say. I'm really excited. Obviously, I'm so excited about Healy because it's just taking things next level, and it's allowing people to have that, so that concept of everything's energy, right? Like, we've understood that, you know, most of us in the spiritual space, I think, are familiar a little bit with Nikola Tesla's work. And so we understand that everything is energy and everything is that everything has vibration and everything has frequency, right? But we haven't had a practical application of that. We haven't had an actual, like, we've been able to conceptualize it at some level, but we haven't actually been able to hold it in our hand. And now we have this ability to have this device and have a real, like, experiential process with the idea that everything's energy. And that's just beautiful. I think I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited for that ripple. I mean, the ripple's already happening through the world, but I'm so excited for it to gain momentum and be more and more that we understand that, because it is in understanding our unique energy signature that we begin to be able to bridge the gap between our physical vessel and our divine immortal soul. So I have this incredible masterclass coming up next Wednesday, and it's called Spiritual Money Mastery. And we're going to be talking about this idea of money being energy, vibration, and frequency. And I'm going to be doing a group healing and clearing that will include the Healy. And I'm super excited about this masterclass because it's unlike any other that I've done in the past, in that we are really going to be playing with the quantum information field and stepping into the container with intention of radical transformation for all of the participants, and playing around with the power that we each have to create, and in this group dynamic, co-create our reality. And so I'm really excited about it. It's going to be very interactive. It's being hosted via Zoom. It's going to be next level. So it's $111. It's happening Wednesday the 25th. It's 2 hours. It's 8 p.m. Bali time. And if you can't make it live, you definitely can come back and catch the replay, though I really encourage you to do what you can do to drop all the things and reschedule the things and be there live, because it's going to be ridiculously powerful to be on the live masterclass. So that's happening Wednesday. Here is the link to register, $111. What else? Oh, my Wealth Alchemy Mastermind that I facilitate completely via Telegram, because we are not censored in any way, shape, or form there. There's no censorship on Telegram because it is privately owned and there's no agenda. So we had this amazing founders rate going, $22 a month, and it was supposed to end yesterday. And I have not and am not going to, because I'm going to now for the rest of the day take some time to just relax, because I haven't had a day off in I don't even know how long. Yeah, so people on this live stream are in the mastermind. It's next level. It's a way to work with me the way my high level clients do. You get a daily wealth consciousness drip from me in the form of content or an audio message. There's heaps of resources in there. You get you get a monthly group coaching call, and you get a monthly Q&A session with me for $22 a month. It's crazy. It's basically free. But so the founders rate was supposed to end yesterday, and I have to go through this whole process to go in and change the pricing in the bot. And I'm just like, I can't be fucked to do it today, honestly, and I'm not going to. So I'm not going to do it till tomorrow afternoon. So you literally have like basically another 24 hours to get in at the $22 founders rate. Definitely do it. You can cancel anytime. Come check it out for a month. You won't leave because it's just next level. Yeah, it's like just having a little Leah in your head. And the great thing about it is you actually get access to everything that's been put in there. So it's not like you don't sign up and then get from this point forward. You sign up and you get access to everything that's ever been put in there. So there's heaps of information to like go jump into and dive into now. So I don't even know. I feel like I don't even have to say anything else. It's facilitated via Telegram. I just dropped the lead page in there. You can go check it out. If you have problems getting signed up, it can be a little bit tricky because it's all done via an automated bot. Just message me and I can help you get connected. But I think that's it. So those are my 2 things that I've got going on right now. We are launching Mastering Your Spiritual Money Game course as well. But I would definitely just... for the now, hop into the masterclass and hop into the Wealth Alchemy Mastermind. Come experience Healy if you haven't already in the masterclass. It's going to be incredible. So that's it. I love you guys.